Welcome back to Truth Moment. I'm your host, Tierra Pritchett. I'm laughing at your face. When something is submerged in the fire, then its shape can shift. Yeah, it can shift. Like she gave a bit of my testimony. So I had a speaking engagement and I spoke about how I became so depressed and I wanted to take my own life. And I was very adamant about it. I had a plan. I sent a message to my husband and I said goodbye in that message. And he thought that I was just, joking. Well, not really joking, but he didn't know the extent of, the way I was feeling. And I sent a message to my sister, and I said goodbye to her as well, and she blew my phone up. And I'm like, Lord, she won't get the message. I don't want to be bothered. Leave me alone. And she kept calling, and she was texting me, and she texted me, she said, I'm on my way over there. And so at that point, I knew I needed to answer the phone because she was going to come over. So I answered the phone, and I said, don't come. No, I'm fine. It's okay. And so when we hung up, I went to go take a shower, and it wasn't like a very dark place I felt that I was in. I heard the enemy say, even though you have these babies, you're not in the best place right now to take care of these children. You will actually be doing the best thing for them to do this, to end it all. And he was like, your husband, your mom, your sister will make sure that the babies are raised the way that you would like for them to be raised. And so no matter the things that God had told me previously about myself, in that moment, the voice that was louder than any was that of the enemy. And so when he told me that this is what I needed to do, I believed him. So I went and I had this peace, and I heard him. He was so calming. He wasn't angry. He wasn't yelling. So I wasn't. I received the peace. And I went to take a shower, and I had already had the pills because I have an almost 2-year-old. So from my C-section, I had the pills. And so I put them on my dresser by my bathroom door, and I was going to take a shower, and I had water there, and I was going to come out and take the pills in the water and lay in the bed and wait to transition. And my hope was that my husband wouldn't, that the kids wouldn't find me, that he would find me, and I would be looking peaceful, and they would have to make sure everything else was taken care of, arrangements and all of that. When I opened the door, she was sitting right there on the edge of the bed, and I'm like, oh my God, why are you here? Like, I told you not to come. And I know this is difficult, this conversation. I can do it now in joking, but I know it's still difficult for her to hear because of who God has placed me to be in her life and in our relationship as well. But I say all that to say, just to give you guys a little bit of background, but I say all that to say is when we don't know who we are and we're not rooted in who we are, who he says we are, we become susceptible for anybody to be able to find that. Anybody can tell you who you are if you don't know. I can walk out here. Case in point. If a person is blind, right, and they're newly blind, thank you, Holy Ghost, this is good. And a person becomes newly blind and they're walking out, and let's say it's night. They don't have the heightened senses that a person who is blind might have because this is all new to them. They have to relearn things, become retrained. So I tell them, it's nighttime. I say, oh, the sun is shining. If they say, why can't I feel it? Oh, it's a cloudy day. But believe me, it's daytime. They're going to believe that it's daytime. Why? Because I told them that. They don't know. This is new to them. They don't know what time of day it is. They don't have the senses that a person who has been blind for a while might have. Okay, I can feel the change in temperature on my skin. Okay, I can feel the wind blowing, so I know that, according to this time, this is when it starts getting day. So you're lying to me. No, you don't become aware of that until this is something you've walked through. So with me, at one time, I knew who I was, but I became newly blind, right? So I didn't know anymore who I was. I didn't believe the thing that he says. God says that I'm special. He says that I'm created in his image. So it doesn't matter what society says I am. God chose me. He says that I'm special. So with that being said, I become susceptible. I can watch something on TV and I'm looking at this image on television and it's telling me in a commercial, this person is beautiful. Look like her. You will get any man that you want. Look like her. You'll get asked to represent any company, any product. And so I'm seeing this and I'm absorbing it. And if I don't have a strong foundation in it, then that becomes my mirror. So I look at that image and I'm like, I need to look like this. I need to be like this. This is how I need to act. So then how do we redefine that image? Well, once getting in our word. You know, I'm not trying to make this a big Bible study, but it's simple as that. That's what it is. When we get into our word, we become knowledgeable about who we are. That's the only place we can go to find out who we are, is to say who he says we are. Like, when you really think about it, here is someone, and it sounds so simple, that thought so much of us that he gave his only son. Like, if you really think about it, Jesus is God's prized possession. But he knew we were going to constantly and continuously mess up. So therefore, there had to be a sacrifice. And what sacrifice than someone so pure and without sin, without flaw? So he sent us because he loved us. And if he does not love us, why would he make such a huge sacrifice by giving his son? So these things you have to remind yourself of. It. Affirmations are good too. You have to look in the mirror and fall in love with the person that is staring back at you. So what that looks like, finding things about yourself that you like. Not that people said that you should like about yourself. Because it's easy to say, like you said that before you had insecurities about your gap. So it's easy to have someone say, girl, I love your gap, that's fine. So then you start feeling, okay, maybe it's not that bad. No, we have to do it. You got to do it. Because people are fickle. One day somebody can say they like something about you and the next day can drag you to someone else about that same thing that they once liked. So you have to be in a place where, no, I like this about me. And it's an ongoing process because you will change. Life changes you. You'll go through things in life, and so you have to redefine what is exceptional about you. So then look at the things that don't change so easily. Your character. What makes you great. I know I have integrity. I like that about myself. See, so no matter if you gain weight, you lose weight, there are things that you know who you are. Those are things that people can hire, qualities that people can find in a great spouse, in a great friendship. These are the things that you have to know, love, and accept about yourself. We have to stop, especially as black women, we have to stop letting the world define what is gorgeous. A lot of times we catch flack for being strong, like it's supposed to be a bad thing. Oh, you're being the angry black woman. No, I have an opinion and I want to voice it. Just because I'm strong doesn't mean that, you can't be, or I'm saying that you're less of a man because I am that. We also will allow relationships to define us. We will try to carve pieces of us to fit in a specific relationship or a friendship. Oh, I know I typically like to be a leader, but this group, they already got a leader. So let me dim my light a little bit so I can fit in with them. That just means that that's not your group. That's not your tribe. It doesn't mean that you have to be less of you to fit in with that. You just got to find the group that you're supposed to be in. There's a scripture that I wrote down. And typically when I go and speak, I have my iPad, but my daughter, the 2-year-old, she seized it today, so it's hers, so I'm using my phone. So in 1 Corinthians 13:12, it says, now we see things imperfectly, like puzzling reflections in a mirror. But then we will see everything with perfect clarity. All that I know now is partial and incomplete. But then I will know everything completely, just as God knows me completely. He knows us. He knows who he created. But he's not going to say that you're special and you're set apart, called according to his purpose. He's not going to call you according to his purpose if he doesn't deem you trustworthy of that purpose. If I can't trust you with something, I'm not going to give you a purpose. That's like when the teacher makes a group assignment due, right? And she puts, she says, y'all decide who's going to do what. If you know that one person is a flake and never comes to class and never turns in their homework, you're not going to give them a big job, right? You're not going to give them a purpose because you're like, I can't trust you with that. We're going to all fail. So if he's saying in his word, you're called according to his purpose. That's his own job. That's something that he needs manifested in this earth to happen, and he's entrusting it in you.
Big.
So it's huge. It's a huge assignment that we're being given, but we don't give ourselves credit. We're like, nah, I know what, he says, but like, look at what everybody else is saying. And we get better with that, but knowing the difference between positive and negative self-talk. What are your inner thoughts about yourself? What does that look like? And then writing it down. I'm not saying that you shouldn't critique yourself, but what I'm saying is just knowing when to cut yourself some slack. Right? Like, know when you're being too hard on yourself. And I'm guilty of that myself too. Like my husband and Toya tell me all the time, like, you're your biggest critic. I am. I can admit that. So letting up on yourself sometimes and going back to your word. What does God say about you and your purpose? You're called for it, right? So you know you can do it. He knows you can do it. So stop questioning that. And then, like I said before, affirmations. And with affirmations, I have this analogy that I do in speaking engagements where I'm talking about self-image and stuff like that. And I say, and I tell people in sessions too, with a positive affirmation, that's something that you're telling yourself. And from the jump, you might not believe it, right? So when you wake up in the morning, I tell people sometimes, write an affirmation down on a sticky pad and put them up all over the place. It sounds silly to say, but you read it enough, you rehearse it to the point where it becomes real. Because think about it. If you say something bad about yourself and you say it enough, it becomes real to you. You believe that thing. It becomes confirmed because you've said it. So that's how speaking things into the atmosphere. You constantly say that thing, you constantly put that negative thing out there, it becomes manifested. That's who you are. You're everything that you say you are. So if you say that you're going to be alone your whole life, don't nobody want you, guess what? Ain't nobody going to want you. Because you believe it. So you sabotage relationships. You start looking for things that aren't there. Because the Bible says, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. So important your thought process and your thought life is, because you sit over there and you rehearse these negative things all the time, they manifest. And just like someone who may look at you on the outside, like when I was telling her, I felt like when I was at my lowest point of my depression, that I was better not here for my children than I was here. So I said that thing, I believed that thing, guess what, I was that thing. I'm snapping on my kids for no reason. I'm short-tempered, my patience is next to impossible, and I'm really feeling like I'm checking out. So her as an outsider, like, what you mean? You're an amazing mom. You're always there, you speak life into your kids. They feel like they can do anything in this world because of you, and that's true. There's nobody that can tell my kids they can't do nothing. They'll tell you real quick, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. People like, but you have zero experience in this area. It don't matter. My mama in Christ said I can do it, so I can do it. But when I was in that state, you couldn't tell me that. I didn't believe that. I felt like I didn't need to be here. They was going to be okay without me. And so that was my affirmation, and it wasn't a positive one. So affirmations, you can either put them up on your, I say, next to, in the bathroom, so you got to see it, because everybody goes into the bathroom, so you got to see it. And it can be something that you don't believe. So while you're getting ready to rehearse the thing, you have to say it over and over and over. So brushing your teeth, even if you don't want to look in that mirror, you brush your teeth and you say, I'm called according to his purpose. So if he called me to his purpose, then that must mean I'm special. I'm beautiful. I'm chosen. I'm the head and not the tail. I'm above and not beneath. I know I'll be successful. It's the will of God for my life. So you don't believe it right at first, so it's difficult to look in that mirror, because you're like, the girl that's saying that stuff is not the girl that's looking back. She's unsuccessful. She's unattractive. She's lonely. Nobody wants her. Why am I sitting here lying to myself? So you're saying it. It's hard to look in the mirror and say it. So look down. Then as time goes past, it gets easier. You may glance up once or twice. In sessions, I'll tell people, okay, this 3 out of 5 days, I want you to say a positive affirmation in that mirror. And then you ain't even gotta look at yourself. They're like, I ain't gotta look at myself? Cool. So they do it. Next week, I'm like, all right, your homework this week, did you do it? Yep, I did it 3 out of 5 days. All right, this time, I want you to do 4 out of 5 days and look in the mirror at least twice. So that sounds easy. Like, all right. So they do it, they come back. Oh man, Miss T, it was hard looking in the mirror because it felt weird. It felt stupid. Like I felt stupid looking in the mirror talking to myself. And think about it. Why? You look in the mirror and say negative stuff about yourself? My nose too big. Oh my God, look at my eyebrows. Oh, I need more makeup. Oh, my hair looks a mess. You know, so the same things. It's easier for us to say negative things about ourselves instead of positive things. And so they do it those 2 days, and I said, all right, this time I want you to look at yourself in the mirror when you're saying it. And then like they come back like, I ain't gonna lie, I only looked in the mirror like once or twice. And so the more you do it, the easier it gets. So then like I joked about in other talks where I say, you start brushing teeth, and as time goes forward, because you've rehearsed that thing in a 21-day span, that's how long it takes to create a new habit. So you do it at that point and you start feeling yourself. You actually believe in the stuff you're saying. And then that other half of you is like, how dare you believe that stuff? How you gonna say you fine and you gonna be successful and you're gonna marry the man of your dreams and you single right now? So the things that you say don't outright become manifested, but that's a part of the journey of it. Because I honestly feel, and you can quote me on it, this is my personal opinion, God has to see that you can say it even when you can't see it. So when you saying it, even though you can't see it, you're like, okay, she's showing the example of faith right now. So I can trust her with this thing because she's showing that she believes that it's coming. Because what? The substance, that's what she's saying. She's saying it even though she can't see it. She's feeling it. She's feeling that jar, proverbial jar of substance, even though she don't have it yet. So you start saying he'll restore that confidence in you. Because what takes away our confidence? Life, interactions with people, failed relationships, bullying. Those are things that take away and rob us of our confidence. So when we restore it, after we've been through some stuff, it becomes a bit more difficult for people to take it away. Because then we redefine who we are. But I ain't going to hold y'all no longer. If y'all have any questions, please feel free to ask. But yeah, that's what I want you ladies to do. Going forward, that's homework I'm extending to each of you. Say at least one positive affirmation for yourself. And I'm willing to stand and call God to be accountable in this thing, to where watch him start turning things around for you. Watch him. I have full faith in him being able to do that. The more you are able to say, okay, God, I'm trusting you in this, and I'm going to give this aspect of my low self-esteem to you so that you can redefine the way that I feel about myself, and I can work towards taking back my mirror. So, any questions?
Don't be shy.
Don't be shy, please. I'm Tiara Pritchard. That's my truth moment. What's yours? See the shirt? That's why I got no truth moment.